My name is Monica Simmons, 29 years old. On June 14th, 2025, my parents and my sister skipped my wedding to go on a 10-day beach vacation in Turks and Caicos. They chose crystal clear water and Instagram stories over watching me say my vows. 3 chairs in the front row sat empty, while 200 guests pretended not to notice. They didn't know that the failed artist daughter they'd written off had built something they couldn't even imagine. They didn't know that the venue where my sister would say "I do" 8 months later was only possible because of me. And they definitely didn't know what I'd placed inside the small gift box I sent to her wedding. When my sister opened it in front of 400 guests, 23 phone calls flooded my voicemail in 2 hours. I didn't answer a single one. Because sometimes the truth doesn't need a conversation. It just needs a witness. This is how the invisible daughter became impossible to ignore. I need to take you back. To understand what happened at my sister's wedding, you need to understand how I became invisible in the first place. November 12th, 2013. I was 14 years old. Dinner table at our home on Beacon Hill, Boston. My father, Douglas, a CEO of a major insurance company. My mother, Patricia, chairman of the city's largest charity foundation. My sister, Victoria, 3 years older, just won a $2.3 million settlement case during her pre-law internship at Harvard. The table sparkled with congratulations. Crystal glasses raised. My mother already on the phone with relatives, broadcasting Victoria's brilliance to anyone who'd listen. I sat at the corner. That afternoon, I'd won second place in the Massachusetts State Architecture Design Competition, teen category. My design was for a sustainable school that used natural light to reduce energy costs by 40%. The prize came with a certificate and a feature in the state education newsletter. Nobody asked. My father turned to me once during dessert. "Monica, dear, could you clear the plates? We have the Cabots coming over in 20 minutes. I carried dishes to the kitchen. Through the back door window, I saw her. My grandmother, Eleanor, standing in the garden, watching me. She didn't say anything, just gestured with her hand. "Come outside." The greenhouse was her sanctuary. 37 potted orchids she'd grown from seeds. In the center, on a drafting table, sat my competition entry. She'd framed it. "Your parents see law degrees and stock portfolios," she said quietly. "I see someone who can turn empty space into meaning." She opened a wooden box. Inside, a set of Rotring pens from 1962. Technical drawing tools, vintage, perfectly preserved. Engraved on the box, E.M. 1962. Eleanor Margaret Chen. "June 14th is my birthday," she told me. "Remember that date, Monica. Someday, it will matter." I didn't understand then. I do now. 3 years later, 2016. The MIT acceptance letter arrived the same week Victoria got into Harvard Law. Full merit scholarship, $58,600 per year. I'd earned it through my portfolio, my essays, my designs. I walked into the living room holding the letter. My parents sat with Victoria, champagne already open for her Harvard celebration. My mother glanced at the MIT logo. "Architecture? That's nice, dear." But Victoria just got into Harvard Law. Let's focus on celebrating real achievement. My father frowned. "How much does MIT cost? We're already stretched thin with Victoria's expenses." I didn't mention the scholarship. I just folded the letter and went back to my room. That night, Grandma Eleanor called me down to the basement. She opened a safe I'd never seen before. Inside, documents, legal papers, property deeds. "This is the legacy I'm leaving you," she said. "But you have to promise me something. Don't ever let anyone make you feel small." I promised. 2 years later, November 2018. I was 22, senior year at MIT, Grandma Eleanor was in the final stages of lung cancer at Mass General Hospital. I sat beside her bed every night that last week. My thesis project, a community center in Dorchester, had just been selected as a top 10 finalist. My professor said it might win national recognition. Eleanor could barely breathe, but she smiled when I told her, "Have you designed anything yet?" Her voice was whisper thin. "The community center. My professor thinks it could change how we approach public spaces. I won't see you graduate." Each word cost her. "But I'll see you from somewhere. You see what others miss, Monica. And one day, they'll have to see it too." She died at 3:17 a.m. on November 18th, 2018. Victoria arrived at the hospital at 6:30 a.m. after a client meeting. My mother cried, told the nurses, my mother was a saint. My father organized the funeral, made calls, handled logistics. Nobody asked if I'd been there all night. 1 week after the funeral, I received an envelope from a lawyer, Martin Geller, executor of Eleanor Margaret Chen's estate. My family had no idea what was inside, and I decided to keep it that way. December 2018. A law office in downtown Boston. Mahogany desk, leather chairs, the smell of old money and older secrets. Martin Geller slid 3 documents across to me. The Eleanor Estate, a beachfront property in Rockport, Massachusetts. Appraised value, $8.2 million. A trust fund, $1.85 million, managed conservatively, growing annually. And a collection, 67 original architectural blueprints from the 1950s through 1980s, worth approximately $300,000 to collectors. All of it, every single dollar, every property deed, every blueprint, left solely to me. "Your grandmother's instructions are explicit," Geller said. "The estate and trust go to Monica Eleanor Simmons alone. However, there's a provision, Clause 7b. You may authorize up to $150,000 in disbursements for family weddings or medical emergencies, but only you can sign." The document was dated June 14th, 2017, Grandma Eleanor's birthday. 2 witnesses. Notarized. Legal. Geller handed me a second envelope. "She asked me to give you this after you read the will." Inside, a note in her handwriting. Just 1 line. "Don't tell them until you've built something they can't ignore." I didn't tell them. Instead, I graduated MIT with honors in May 2019. Moved to Los Angeles in March 2020. Used $680,000 from the trust fund to buy a struggling architecture firm in downtown LA. 3 employees, 1 office, barely surviving. I renamed it Eleanor Reed Design Collective. Reed was the last name of someone I'd met exactly 1 year before. Someone who'd changed everything. June 14th, 2019. The day that would become my wedding date 6 years later. I was at the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston, an exhibition called Women in Architecture 1950 to 2000. I stood in front of a photograph of my grandmother from 1968, standing in front of the Newton Public Library, a building she designed. Most people didn't know that. The firm had listed her male partner's name on all the documents. Eleanor Chen, a voice beside me. "She designed this library. Most people don't know because the firm credited her partner." I turned. A man about my age. Kind eyes. Structural engineer's conference badge on his jacket. "That's my grandmother," I said. He looked at me differently then. "Then you carry a legacy." His name was Ethan Cooper. We started dating in August 2019. He proposed in December 2023 at the Eleanor Estate, in the garden where my grandmother used to grow orchids. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Between 2020 and 2024, I built something extraordinary. Year 1, 8 projects, 6.3 million in revenue. Year 2, 15 projects, 11.8 million. Year 3, 23 projects, 18.5 million. I designed beach houses in Malibu for tech founders, mountain estates in Aspen for old money families, urban renovations in Scottsdale for new wealth. My clients included a Spotify executive, 2 Hollywood directors, and a Lakers minority owner. In May 2024, I won the AIA National Design Award, American Institute of Architects, one of the most prestigious honors in the field. I accepted it in Washington, D.C. under the name M. Eleanor Reed. My firm employed 12 people. Our office sat on the 8th floor of a building on Vine Street. We'd designed 23 residences valued over $15 million each. Our average fee was 4.2%. Do the math. That's $14.49 million just from residential projects. I never told my family. When my mother called, twice a year, usually around Christmas and my birthday, she'd ask, "Still doing freelance work, dear?" "Yes, Mom. Enough to get by." My father once offered to introduce me to people who could get me a real job. I thanked him and said I'd think about it. In December 2023, I flew home for Christmas. Victoria announced her salary at dinner. $385,000 a year as a corporate attorney. My mother beamed. "Monica, you're 27 now. It's time to get serious about your career." I looked at her calmly. "I am serious, Mom." My father sipped his wine. "Drawing pictures for unnamed startups isn't a career, Monica." I said nothing. But that night, Ethan asked me to marry him. He'd decorated the Eleanor estate garden exactly as my grandmother had kept it. Orchids everywhere. I chose our wedding date immediately, June 14th, 2025, 6 years since we met. My grandmother's birthday, the day that would finally make them see. I just didn't know how blind they still were. February 2024. I called my family on video chat to announce my engagement. My mother screamed with joy for exactly 1 minute. Then the questions started. What does Ethan do? What's his family like? Where are they from? He's a structural engineer. His family's from Maine. Good people. My father nodded slowly. Engineer. Respectable. Not wealthy, but respectable. Victoria smiled. Congrats, Mon. I'm happy you finally found someone. Finally. As if I'd been searching desperately while she succeeded effortlessly. We're getting married June 14th, 2025, I said. Grandma Eleanor's birthday, the day Ethan and I met. My mother's expression shifted. Slight, but I saw it. June? Are you sure? The weather can be unpredictable. I'm sure. 3 weeks later, I sent save the dates. Monica Simmons and Ethan Cooper, June 14th, 2025. Santa Barbara, California. In March, my mother called. Could you possibly move it to September? I have a very important charity gala in June. Mom, I've already booked the venue. Venues can be changed, dear. I didn't change it. September 2024. Victoria got engaged to Jonathan Whitmore III, son of a federal judge. The proposal happened in Paris. The engagement party in Boston had 180 guests. I flew home, brought an $800 gift, smiled through speeches about how perfect they were together. At the party, my mother pulled me onto a balcony overlooking Boston Harbor. Victoria's planning her honeymoon. The whole family is going to Turks and Caicos in June. It's a celebration of both her engagement and wedding. 10 days. Mom, that's my wedding month. You could move yours to July. Just a few weeks later. No. June 14th is the anniversary of when Ethan and I met. It's Grandma's birthday. It matters. My mother's voice went cold. Monica, this is about family. Victoria comes first. She always has. She doesn't have to. Grow up. I went back inside, found Victoria laughing with guests. My father beside her, proud. Nobody looked toward the balcony. I flew back to LA the next morning. 2 weeks later, I sent an email. Wedding date confirmed, June 14th, 2025. Please, RSVP, by November 1st. November 1st came and went. Nobody responded. Then the calls started. My mother, 6 times a week through November and December. My father joined in January. Monica, I've booked a villa in Turks and Caicos. $35,000, non-refundable. That line. He actually said that line. Dad, Grandma Eleanor left me everything she had because she knew I was the only one who understood what mattered, and it wasn't trips to Turks and Caicos. Silence. Then, what do you mean she left you everything? I'd said too much. I backtracked. I mean, she understood me. That's all. But the damage was done. My father grew suspicious, started asking questions. I dodged them all. In February 2025, the text arrived. Your father and I have decided we're going to Turks and Caicos June 10th through 20th. Victoria needs us. We hope you understand. I called immediately. So you're not coming to my wedding? Monica, we raised you for 29 years. Can't you compromise on this one thing? This isn't about compromise. This is about whether you see me as a priority. Don't be dramatic. Your wedding is a small thing. Just a few people. Victoria's needs the whole family. My voice shook. I couldn't help it. I chose this date because of Grandma, because of Ethan, because of the only people who ever saw me. Your grandmother is dead, Monica. My father's voice sharp as glass. It's time you grew up and learned that family means compromise. I hung up. Ethan found me on the couch. He held me. I didn't cry. I just sat there, numb. They made their choice. I said finally, now I make mine. In March, the family group chat exploded. 47 members. Aunts, uncles, cousins, second cousins. My mother posted, Monica is being difficult about her wedding date. We're heartbroken, we'll miss it. But Victoria's moment is once in a lifetime. The responses poured in. That's selfish of Monica. Family comes first. She can always renew her vows later. 18 of my 32 invited relatives sent regrets. We support your parents' decision. Family unity is important. In April, Victoria posted on Instagram a throwback photo of us as kids. Long caption about how some people grow apart and distance is hard and I'll always love my little sister, even when she chooses to be difficult. 8,900 likes. Comments flooded in. You're so gracious. Some people don't understand family. I didn't respond. I just took screenshots. Saved them in a folder labeled Receipts. In May, a package arrived. FedEx from Boston. Inside, a Hallmark card with a beach scene. My mother's handwriting. We'll be thinking of you from Turks and Caicos. Here's a little something for your future. A check for $5,000. Only my mother's signature. Not my father's. The memo line read, from the Simmons family. I stared at that check for a long time. Then I put it in my wallet. Not to cash, not to tear up, to keep. Because someday I knew receipts would matter. June 14th, 2025. 6:30 in the morning. I sat in my suite at the Four Seasons Biltmore in Santa Barbara. The makeup artist worked quietly. My phone sat face down on the vanity. I knew what was on Instagram. I'd checked once. At 6:15 a.m. Victoria's story. A photo of turquoise water, white sand. Caption, Paradise with my favorite people. My mother tagged. My father tagged. Posted 18 minutes ago. 9:15 a.m. Boston time. They were already at breakfast. You okay, honey? The makeup artist paused, brush in midair. I looked at her in the mirror. I'm perfect. My wedding dress hung on the door. Vera Wang. $12,800. Ivory with vintage lace sleeves, exactly like the one my grandmother wore in 1960. I'd found the photo in an old album and had it recreated. My bouquet sat in water. White orchids. The kind Grandma Eleanor grew in her greenhouse. At 8:45 a.m., the wedding coordinator knocked. "Mrs. Simmons, I have to ask. The three reserved seats in the front row, Douglas, Patricia, and Victoria Simmons, are they running late?" I fastened my grandmother's pearl earrings. "They're not coming." The coordinator's face went pale. "Oh, oh, I'm so sorry. Should I, should I remove the reserved signs?" "No, leave them." "But, leave them." At 10 a.m., I walked down the aisle on the ocean lawn. 182 guests stood. 28 had canceled. The front row on my side had 3 empty chairs. On each chair, I'd placed a bouquet of white orchids, small cards tucked into the flowers, reserved for those who chose elsewhere. The front row on Ethan's side was full. His parents, his 2 brothers, his sister. Before the ceremony started, his mother, Karen Cooper, came to me in the bridal suite. She hugged me so tight I could barely breathe. "Monica, you are our daughter now. Those empty chairs don't define who loves you." When I reached the altar, Ethan took my hands. He whispered, "You're the bravest person I know." The ceremony was beautiful. Reverend Michaels, my grandmother's old friend from MIT, officiated. He told stories about Eleanor, how she'd designed buildings that changed communities, how she'd taught him that good architecture, like good people, creates space for others to thrive. I looked at the 3 empty chairs exactly once, during my vows. "I promise to choose you every day," I said to Ethan. "Not because you're perfect, but because you see me. And in a world where I've been invisible, that's everything." At the reception, Ethan's brother stood to give a toast. "To Monica, a woman who knows her worth doesn't come from who's missing, but from who's here." 182 people applauded. I looked at those 3 empty chairs and smiled. At 2:30 p.m. during cake cutting, the coordinator brought me an envelope. FedEx. Sent from Boston. Postmarked June 13th. Inside, another Hallmark card, beach scene. My mother's handwriting again. "Thinking of you today. Sorry we couldn't make it. Love, Mom, Dad, and Victoria." The check was paperclipped to the card. $5,000. I showed it to Ethan. "They sent money from the beach," I said quietly. He stared at it. $5,000 to miss their daughter's wedding. "They think this makes it even." I folded the check. Put it in my clutch. Didn't tear it. Didn't cash it. Just kept it. That night, at 11 p.m., I checked Instagram one more time. Victoria had posted a video, the family toasting champagne at their villa. My father's laugh in the background. My mother singing off-key. Caption: "Family time is everything. Not one word about me." Ethan and I left for our honeymoon the next morning, Amalfi Coast. 2 weeks. My mother called 3 times while we were gone. I didn't answer. Victoria texted once. "Hope your day was nice. Turks was amazing. Can't wait to show you pics." I didn't reply. In Positano, sitting on our balcony at Le Cyrenus, Ethan asked me, "Do you think you're wrong not to answer? Do you? I think you should block them all." I laughed. Actually laughed. I'm not ready to cut them off completely, but I'm ready to let them understand. Understand what? What it costs to choose wrong. I wrote in my journal that night, June 20th, 2025. "They sent $5,000 like paying off guilt. I'll keep it. Not as forgiveness, as evidence." When we returned to LA on June 28th, I had 12 voicemails. 9 from my mother, 2 from Victoria, 1 from my father. I didn't listen to any of them. I sent one text to the family group chat. "I'm back. I need space. Please respect that." Then I muted the chat. For 6 weeks there was silence, and then, in early September, The invitation arrived. Victoria Simmons and Jonathan Whitmore III request the honor of your presence. February 15th, 2026. Boston Harbor Hotel. I opened it slowly. Read every word. Noted every detail. 420 guests. Black tie required. Dinner by Chef Barbara Lynch. And tucked inside, a handwritten note. Mon, I know things have been hard, but you're my sister. Please come. This day means everything. Love, V. I set the invitation on my desk. Ethan looked at me. Are you going? No. You're sure? Completely. Then why are you smiling? I pulled out my laptop, opened a browser, searched Maldives Luxury Resorts February 2026. Because, I said, I'm going to send her a gift instead. July 2025. The family group chat became a war zone, 47 members, messages every hour. My mother posted the Turks and Caicos photo album, 23 pictures, sunset cocktails, beach yoga, family dinners under string lights. Caption: unforgettable family bonding. Sometimes you have to choose what's best for everyone. 32 people reacted with hearts and thumbs up. My cousin Emma commented, so sad Monica couldn't be flexible about her date. My Aunt Diane, I heard her wedding was very small. Maybe that's why she was upset? My mother replied, we sent a generous gift. Sometimes children don't appreciate the sacrifices parents make. Victoria, let's move forward. Monica needs time to mature. I read every message, screenshotted every single one, saved them in a folder. I didn't reply. On July 15th, my father posted on Facebook, public. Family is about understanding, compromise, and love. Proud of my daughters for growing into strong women even when paths differ. 156 comments, all praising him. Amazing father. So wise. Your daughters are lucky. I blocked him on Facebook that night. July 18th. My cousins Emma, Lisa, and Natalie called. Conference call. Monica, we need to talk about this family drama. There's no drama, I said. There's just clarity. Emma's voice went soft. Aunt Patricia is crying constantly. She feels like you're punishing everyone. Did she come to my wedding? Silence. That's what I thought. Lisa tried next. Your wedding's over, Mon. Why can't you just let it go? Did you come to my wedding, Lisa? More silence. You all chose. I'm just respecting your choices. Natalie got defensive. We wanted to support both sides. There aren't two sides. There's one side that abandoned someone and one side that got abandoned. Emma's voice cracked. You're being so dramatic. It was just a vacation. I hung up. Blocked all three of them. Ethan found me in the kitchen. You okay? For the first time in my life? Yes. July 22nd. My mother called from an unknown number, a friend's phone. I answered without thinking. Monica, why are you doing this? She was crying. I'm your mother. I gave birth to you. You also skipped my wedding. Can't you forgive me? Have you apologized? Long silence. I don't have anything to apologize for. I did what was best for the family. Then we have nothing to talk about. I hung up. Blocked that number too. In August, Victoria posted on Instagram a throwback photo of us as kids. Her in a princess costume, me in overalls covered in paint. Long caption, missing the days when family was simple. Sometimes people grow apart and that's okay. I'll always love my little sister even when she chooses distance. Family first, sister love. 8,900 likes, 347 comments. You're so gracious, Victoria. Your parents raised you right. She's lucky to have you. I didn't comment, didn't react, but I took a screenshot, added it to the receipts folder. By September, I'd blocked 8 phone numbers, left the family group chat, changed my number. I sent one final text before switching. This is Monica's new number. I'm taking time away from family communication. If there's an emergency, contact Ethan. Otherwise, respect my space. My mother texted back immediately from a new number. You're destroying this family. I replied once. No, Mom. You did that on June 14th. I'm just choosing peace. Then I blocked her. That night, I sat in my home office in LA, looked at my wedding photo with Ethan. We were laughing, happy, surrounded by people who'd actually shown up. Behind the frame, I'd tucked that $5,000 check. Still undeposited, still evidence. I opened my laptop, checked my email. One new message. Subject line: Victoria Simmons and Jonathan Whitmore III request the honor of your presence. The invitation. Digital version. February 15th, 2026. Boston Harbor Hotel. 420 guests. I read it twice. Then I opened a new document. And I started making plans. September 12th, 2025. The physical invitation arrived via FedEx, letterpress printing, gold foil, tissue paper so delicate it rustled like whispers, Victoria Simmons and Jonathan Whitmore III. Black tie required, dinner menu by Chef Barbara Lynch, music by the Boston Pops Quartet, 420 guests, and inside, a handwritten note on cream cardstock. Mon, I know things have been hard, but you're my sister, please come. This day means everything. Love, V. I read it aloud to Ethan. This day means everything. Interesting. Did my day mean anything? Ethan looked at the invitation. Are you going? I haven't decided yet. What would make you decide? I smiled. The right kind of gift. RSVP deadline. December 15th, 2025. I didn't respond. On September 20th, my mother called Ethan's phone. He handed it to me, reluctant. Monica, I know you're angry, but this is Victoria's wedding. You can't skip it. You skipped mine. That was different. We had a family commitment. A vacation. You had a vacation. My mother's voice hardened. This is about your sister. She didn't do anything to you. She posted Instagram stories from the beach while I got married. She called me dramatic in the family chat. She did plenty. She's getting married, Monica, to a wonderful man from a respected family. The Whitmores are very important people. This wedding matters. So did mine. Yours was small. Hers is more important. Silence. I hung up. Through October and November, my mother called 15 times, different numbers, friends' phones, the office phone at her charity foundation. I answered once, November 8th. Monica, please, I'm trying to understand how you feel about your wedding, but Victoria's getting married now. This is our chance for the family to heal. Do you have an apology for me, Mom? I'm trying to move forward, honey. Apologies don't change the past. Then why should I come to Victoria's wedding? Because you're sisters. Because family forgives. Did you forgive me for not being flexible? Silence again. You're being unfair. Yes. Now you know how it feels. I ended the call. On November 5th, my father tried. First time he'd called in 5 months. Monica, I need you to reconsider. Victoria is very upset. The Whitmore family is asking about you. This is about our family's reputation. So you want me there to hide the truth? I want you there because you're part of this family. Funny, I didn't feel like part of the family on June 14th. Monica, we raised you for 29 years. One wedding is one day. Can't you be an adult about this? You said that before, Dad. Word for word. And my answer is still the same. No. He tried arguing, raised his voice, said I was being selfish, immature, vindictive. I waited until he ran out of breath. Then I said very calmly, I'm going to the Maldives that week. Ethan and I are celebrating our anniversary early. We've already booked the flights. You're going on vacation during your sister's wedding? Yes, just like you went on vacation during mine. I hung up before he could respond. Blocked his number. On December 10th, 5 days before the RSVP deadline, Victoria found me on Instagram. I hadn't blocked her there yet. Direct message. Mon, please. I need to know if you're coming. The seating chart is due next week. I'm begging you. I didn't reply. December 14th. My mother sent an email. Subject line: Urgent, Victoria's wedding. Monica, we understand you're hurt, but this isn't about us anymore. This is about Victoria's happiness. She didn't do anything to you. Please don't punish her for our mistakes. Just RSVP, yes or no. Mom, I drafted a reply. Victoria stood by and watched you skip my wedding. She posted Instagram stories from the beach while I walked down the aisle alone. She called me dramatic when I asked for basic respect. She did everything to me by doing nothing. I didn't send it. Instead, I filled out the RSVP card, checked the box, declines with regret, wrote nothing else, mailed it. On December 16th, I booked our trip. 4 Seasons Maldives at Landa Giravaru. February 13th through 18th. Overwater Villa. $2,400 per night. I screenshotted the confirmation, saved it in the receipts folder. Then I opened a different folder, one I'd created in September, labeled The Gift. And I started assembling the truth. January 2026. My home office in Los Angeles. On my desk, 3 documents, carefully selected, perfectly legal, impossible to deny. I'd been preparing them since September. Document 1. A photocopy of my grandmother's will. Dated June 14th, 2017. Notarized. Legal. The relevant section highlighted in yellow. Eleanor Estate and Associated Trust Fund, $1.85 million, bequeathed solely to Monica Eleanor Simmons. Disbursement authorization solely at Monica's discretion. Document 2. A bank receipt. Dated October 8th, 2024. Trust disbursement authorization form. $125,000. Authorized by Monica E. Simmons. Purpose: Victoria Simmons Wedding Venue Deposit, Boston Harbor Hotel. Note: per Eleanor Chen's wedding provision, Clause 7b. Document 3. A letter, written in my grandmother's handwriting. Dated November 10th, 2018. 8 days before she died. I'd found it in her papers 2 years ago. Monica is the only one who asked me about the stories behind my blueprints, not the money they made. Victoria asked about my will 3 times. Patricia asked 4. I know where my legacy belongs. Eleanor. 3 documents. 3 truths. 1 gift box. I placed them carefully in a small box. 8 inches by 10 inches by 4 inches. White cardboard, sturdy. I wrapped it in ivory paper. Gold ribbon. The exact colors of Victoria's wedding invitation. I wrote a card by hand. To Victoria, for your new beginning, with clarity. Monica. Ethan stood in the doorway watching. You're sure about this? Are you asking if I think it's right, or if I think I'll regret it? Both. I looked at the box. I'm not doing this out of hatred. I'm doing it for truth. They'll call it revenge. Let them. I sealed the box, addressed it. Victoria Simmons, care of Boston Harbor Hotel, event coordinator. Deliver February 14th, 2026, 10 a.m. before ceremony setup. Key, February 10th, I went to FedEx. The clerk weighed the box. 3.2 pounds. Overnight delivery to Boston, signature required. $86.40. I paid with my company card. Eleanor Reed Design Collective. For the tracking record. Is this a wedding gift? The clerk smiled. How sweet. I smiled back. It's exactly what she needs. I took a photo of the receipt. Sent it to Ethan. Sent. He replied immediately. Maldives tomorrow? Maldives tomorrow. February 13th. Ethan and I boarded our flight to the Maldives. I checked the FedEx tracking one last time before takeoff. In transit. On schedule. Expected delivery. February 14th, 9:47 a.m. I turned off my phone. For the next 36 hours, I didn't check email, didn't look at social media, didn't answer calls. We snorkeled. We had dinner on the beach. We watched the sunset from our villa. Ethan asked once at dinner on February 14th, "Do you think they've opened it yet?" I looked at my watch. 8 p.m. Maldives time, 10 a.m. Boston time. If everything went according to plan, yes. And now we wait. February 15th, 11:30 p.m. Maldives time. 36 hours after I'd turned off my phone. I powered it on. The screen flooded with notifications. 23 missed calls from Victoria. 11 missed calls from my mother. 6 missed calls from my father. 47 unread text messages. 8 voicemails. I didn't open any of them. I only checked one thing: Instagram. I searched Victoria's name. Her most recent post was from February 13th. 2 days ago. Pre-wedding excitement. She looked radiant. Nothing from today, nothing from yesterday. Complete silence. I opened my email, scrolled to the most recent. Subject line: "What did you do?" From my mother. Sent at 3:47 p.m. Boston time yesterday. I didn't open it. I just smiled, deleted it, and went back to watching the ocean. Let me tell you what I learned later. From people who were there. From the video that went viral. From the wreckage. February 14th, 2026. 11:15 a.m. Boston Harbor Hotel. Bridal suite. Victoria sat surrounded by 8 bridesmaids. Her wedding dress, Monique Louillier, $18,500, hung perfectly pressed. Her makeup, flawless. Her hair, an architectural miracle of braids and pins. The wedding coordinator, Jennifer, knocked and entered. "Victoria, this just arrived for you. It's marked open before ceremony." A small box, ivory paper, gold ribbon. Victoria read the card. "Oh, from Monica. At least she sent something." Her maid of honor, Sarah, leaned in. "That's sweet. What is it?" Victoria untied the ribbon, lifted the lid, pulled out the first document. Her face went white. "What the hell?" She pulled out the second document, the bank receipt. No. The third document. My grandmother's letter. Her hands started shaking. "Mom, get up here, now." At 11:40 a.m., my mother burst into the suite. My father followed. Victoria thrust the documents at them. My mother read the will, her face drained of color. "Grandma Eleanor left everything to Monica? All of it?" My father grabbed the bank receipt. $125,000 from Monica's trust fund? She authorized the venue deposit? His voice cracked. "But I told everyone. I said I was covering the venue." My mother's hands trembled. "We thought it was family money. From my mother's estate. We thought wrong." My father sat down hard. "Monica owns it all, and she paid for this wedding." Victoria was crying now, mascara running. "What does this mean? What is she trying to do?" My mother grabbed her shoulders. "She's trying to ruin your day. That's what she's doing." My father shook his head. "No, she's trying to make us understand. In front of everyone." Victoria looked at the clock. 11:52 a.m. ceremony started at 12:30 p.m. 420 guests are downstairs. Jonathan's parents are waiting. What do I do? My mother made a decision. "Hide these. We'll deal with it after. No one needs to know." Victoria stuffed the documents in her makeup bag, but she didn't know that Jennifer, the coordinator, had already photographed the box and card. Standard procedure for event records. That photo would matter later. At 12:30 p.m., the ceremony began. Victoria walked down the aisle, smiled, said her vows, kissed Jonathan, but her hands shook holding the bouquet. Jonathan noticed, whispered, "Babe, you okay?" "Just nervous," she lied. The ceremony ended. Photographs, receiving line, cocktail hour. Victoria moved through it like a sleepwalker. At 3:15 p.m., the reception began in the Atlantic Ballroom. 420 guests at 42 tables, crystal chandeliers, orchid centerpieces, a string quartet playing Vivaldi. The MC stood. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special surprise. Please welcome Boston Harbor Hotel's general manager, Mr. Tom Brennan, who has a message for our newlyweds." This was tradition. The manager congratulated VIP weddings. Tom Brennan stood, smiled, took the microphone. "Mr. and Mrs. Whitmore, congratulations. This hotel has hosted countless weddings, but yours is particularly special to us." Applause. Victoria smiled, relaxed slightly. Brennan continued. "Many of you may not know this, but the Atlantic Ballroom underwent a complete renovation in 2023. $15.2 million. It won several design awards." More applause. "The architect who led that project is one of the finest in the country, Eleanor Reed Design Collective. And it's such a wonderful full-circle moment that Ms. Reed's own sister is getting married here today." Confusion rippled through the room. Victoria stood up slowly. "I'm sorry, what?" Brennan beamed. "Your sister, Monica Simmons. She goes by the professional name M. Eleanor Reed. She designed this entire ballroom. We're honored that—" "No." Victoria's voice came out strangled. "My sister isn't an architect. She's been our architect of record since 2022. Her firm is based in Los Angeles, but she personally oversaw every detail of this space." My mother stood. "There must be some mistake." "No mistake, ma'am. I have her signature on all the contracts. Eleanor Reed Design Collective." He pulled out his phone, scrolling. "Would you like me to show you—" A voice from the VIP table. Jonathan's mother. Mrs. Eleanor Whitmore. "Wait. Eleanor Reed Design? The firm that did our Beacon Hill renovation?" Brennan nodded enthusiastically. "Yes, that's them. Outstanding work." Mrs. Whitmore stood slowly, looked at Victoria. "Your sister designed our house?" The ballroom went silent. Guests pulled out phones. Frantic Googling. Whispers started. "Eleanor Reed Design won the AIA award last year. Their projects are all over Architectural Digest. Revenue over 18 million. Wait, isn't that Monica Simmons? The one who—" At table 14, a woman named Claire, Boston socialite, blogger, 47,000 Instagram followers. She'd been live streaming the reception. Her phone had caught everything. She posted it immediately. "Wait, did the bride's sister design this hotel and the bride didn't know? Hashtag Boston wedding, hashtag family drama." Within 1 hour, 45,000 views. Within 6 hours, 380,000 views. Within 48 hours, 1.8 million views. My father took out his phone, typed with shaking fingers. "Eleanor Reed Design Collective." The website loaded. Team page. My photo. M. Eleanor Reed, founder and principal architect. Portfolio. 23 residential projects, 6 commercial renovations, total project value, $47 million. Awards, press, client testimonials. Everything they'd never known. Everything I'd never told them. Victoria saw my father's face, grabbed his phone, stared at my photo, at my success, at the empire I'd built in silence. She started crying. Real crying. Loud, gasping sobs. Jonathan tried to comfort her. "V, what's happening?" She couldn't speak, just showed him the documents from the gift box. He read them. His face went hard. Your grandmother left her 1.85 million, and she used it to pay for our venue? I thought. Dad said he was covering it. Jonathan's voice dropped. Victoria, my family paid for the flowers, the band, the photographer, the cake. $83,000. We were told your family was handling the venue. My father overheard. Stepped forward. We thought. The estate was family money. Available for everyone. But it's not. Jonathan's jaw clenched. It's Monica's money. And you told us you had it covered. Judge Whitmore, Jonathan's father, appeared. Is there a problem with the financial arrangements of this wedding? The judge's lawyer, a family friend, stood beside him. If there's been misrepresentation of payment sources, we need clarity before any joint financial documents are signed. The Whitmore family was old money, careful money. They had lawyers for everything, including prenuptial agreements. Victoria collapsed into a chair. My mother tried calling me. Once, twice, 3 times. Voicemail, voicemail, voicemail. She texted, Monica, answer your phone. You've destroyed everything. No response. By 5 p.m., the reception had devolved into whispered conversations and early departures. By 7 p.m., hashtag Monica Simmons was trending on Boston Twitter. By midnight, Victoria and Jonathan were in their hotel room, not speaking. The honeymoon to Santorini, scheduled for the next morning, was postponed indefinitely. Judge Whitmore wanted answers. And I was in the Maldives, phone off, watching the sunset. Completely unreachable, completely at peace. February 16th. One day after Victoria's wedding. Jonathan postponed the honeymoon. Official reason? Family emergency. Real reason? Judge Whitmore demanded a meeting with my parents and a financial advisor. The prenuptial agreement needed clarification. Victoria had not accurately disclosed her family's financial situation. She'd said her family was well off, that her father was successful, that they had generational wealth. She hadn't mentioned that the actual generational wealth belonged to her estranged sister, the sister she'd called struggling, the sister whose wedding she'd skipped for a beach vacation. Victoria canceled the Santorini resort, lost the $8,400 deposit. She didn't post honeymoon photos. Her followers noticed. Where's Santorini? Is everything okay? She didn't answer. That evening, my mother called me for the 28th time. This time, she left a 4-minute voicemail. Monica, you have to call me back. You've ruined Victoria's wedding. Jonathan's family thinks we lied to them. Vendors are calling asking about payments. You have to fix this. You have to. I was in the Maldives, in an overwater villa, listening to the ocean. I deleted the voicemail without finishing it. February 17th through 19th. 6 vendors contacted my father. Florist, band, photographer, cake designer, lighting company, transportation service. Total, $67,000 in outstanding invoices. They'd seen the viral video. Googled Eleanor Reed design. Realized Monica Simmons was M. Eleanor Reed. Some had worked with my firm before. They worried about payment disputes. My father assured them everything was fine. But it wasn't. He'd overextended his budget, expecting Victoria's wedding fund from Grandma to cover gaps. That fund didn't exist. He had to take a personal credit line, $67,000. My mother discovered it checking their bank statement. You borrowed $67,000? You said we had the money. I thought we did, from your mother's estate. My mother's estate belongs to Monica. They fought for 2 hours. That night, my father wrote me an email. 9 pages, single-spaced. Subject line, we need to talk. Please read this. I never opened it. Auto-archived, February 20th. The video hit 3.2 million views. Comment section, 89% Team Monica. She built an empire while they mocked her. They skipped her wedding for a beach trip. She paid for theirs. Queen. This is what boundaries look like. Some defended Victoria. It's cruel to ruin someone's wedding day. But they got ratioed. Architecture blogs picked it up. Eleanor Reed Design is one of the most respected firms on the West Coast. The family drama surrounding founder Monica Simmons is unprecedented. Boston Magazine reached out for comment. My firm's response? Ms. Simmons is unavailable for interview and requests privacy. Victoria deleted Instagram that day. Lost 2,890 followers first. Posted one final story. Taking a break from social media to focus on what matters. Thank you for understanding. Comments disabled. My father's insurance brokerage lost 3 clients that week. The official reason? Moving our account to another provider for unrelated reasons. But the timing was clear. The viral video had damaged his family values brand. People talked. Boston is a small town for the wealthy. Everyone knew everyone, and everyone had seen the video. February 22nd. Ethan and I returned to Los Angeles. I turned on my phone fully for the first time in 9 days. 67 missed calls, 143 text messages, 19 voicemails. I listened to one, from Victoria, sent at 2:47 a.m. on February 21st. Her voice was hoarse. She'd been crying. Monica, I know you're not listening, but I need to say this. You destroyed the most important day of my life. Jonathan's family thinks we're frauds. Dad had to borrow money to pay vendors. Mom hasn't slept in 4 days. And you? You're in the Maldives posting sunset photos while I'm living in hell. I don't understand you. I never did anything to you. I'm just your sister. I didn't make Mom and Dad skip your wedding. That was their choice. But you're punishing me like I'm the enemy. You want to know the worst part? I Googled you. I saw your company. I saw the awards. I saw everything you built. And I realized you didn't need us. You never did. While I thought I was the successful one, I was just the favorite. And you were the one who actually made something. I don't know if I hate you or admire you. Maybe both. Are you happy now, Monica? Are you happy you destroyed me? The voicemail ended. I sat in my car in our driveway. Ethan looked at me. Are you going to call her back? I pressed delete. Then I blocked Victoria's number. No. That evening, I received an email from Martin Geller, the lawyer who'd executed my grandmother's will. Subject line, Eleanor Estate, Annual Trust Report. I opened it. Inside, a reminder about a clause I'd forgotten. My grandmother had set up a provision. If I chose, I could convert the Eleanor Estate into a non-profit educational space. For young architects, a scholarship, a workshop, a legacy. I read it 3 times. Then I smiled. And I started making plans for something they could never touch. March 15th, 2026. 1 month after Victoria's wedding. My mother appeared at my office in Los Angeles. No warning, no call, just showed up. My receptionist buzzed me. Ms. Reed, there's a Patricia Simmons in the lobby. She says she's your mother. I stared at the phone. Tell her I'm in a meeting. She says she'll wait. Patricia sat in that lobby for 4 hours. At 6:30 p.m., I came down. She stood when she saw me, looked older, tired. Monica. What are you doing here, Mom? You won't answer your phone, you won't read emails. Your father wrote you 9 pages. You didn't respond. Because I have nothing to say. But I do. I need to apologize. I didn't invite her to my office. We went to a coffee shop nearby, Blue Bottle on 7th Street. She ordered coffee, didn't touch it. I ordered nothing. Do you know what Victoria's wedding was like? My mother asked. Jonathan postponed the honeymoon. His family thinks we're liars. Victoria cries every night. And you think that's my fault? I think. She stopped. Started again. I was wrong to skip your wedding. I was wrong to favor Victoria. I was wrong not to see what you'd accomplished. I'm sorry. I waited. Aren't you going to say something? Are you apologizing because you mean it? Or because you want me to fix what happened? She hesitated. Both. At least you're honest. So will you talk to Victoria? She's devastated. Mom, you flew across the country to apologize to me, and your first words after I'm sorry are about Victoria. Do you see the problem? She started crying. I don't know how to do this differently. Then go home, when you're ready to put me first, not because of guilt, not because of damage control, but because I'm your daughter. Then come back. She stood, wiped her eyes. Do you even love me anymore? I was quiet for 5 seconds. I did love you. I still do. But I don't need you to love me back anymore. And that's what you need to learn. She left. I sat there alone for 20 minutes. March 22nd, a FedEx package arrived. From my father. 9 pages, handwritten, blue ink, shaky letters. I read it in my office. Ethan sat beside me. The letter was different from what I expected. He didn't make excuses, didn't blame anyone else. He wrote, I favored Victoria because I understood her. Law, ambition, clear goals. You were abstract. Architecture, art, dreams I couldn't grasp. I was scared I couldn't support you. So I supported the daughter I understood instead. I chose understanding over faith. And I lost you. At the end, I don't expect forgiveness. But I need you to know. I see you now. I see what Grandma Eleanor saw. I'm sorry it took losing you to finally look. No request. No demand. Just, if you ever want to talk, I'm here. No conditions. Dad. I folded the letter. Put it in my desk drawer. Ethan asked, Are you going to respond? Not yet. But I'm keeping it. I drafted an email that night. Didn't send it yet. Dad, I read your letter. I'm not ready to talk. But I'm not ready to close the door either. If you want to rebuild, here's what I need. 1. Family therapy. You, Mom, Victoria, me. 6 months minimum. Professionally mediated. 2. Public acknowledgement. Not on social media, but a letter to the 47 relatives in that group chat who judged me, setting the record straight. 3. Space. Don't call. Don't visit. Don't push. Let me come to you when I'm ready. If you can do this, we'll start. If not, we're done. Monica. I saved it as a draft. April 5th, 2026. I met with Martin Geller again. We discussed converting the Eleanor estate into a scholarship and workshop. The Eleanor Chen Memorial Program. For young architects from underprivileged backgrounds. Free tuition. Equipment access. Mentorship. Budget. $500,000 from the trust fund. I'd add $200,000 from my firm. Your grandmother would be proud, Geller said. She knew I'd do this. That's why she left it to me. Have you told your family? They'll find out when it opens, just like everything else. The workshop would launch in June 2027, 2 years after my wedding. First cohort, 12 students, ages 18 to 25, full scholarships. I'd teach 1 class a month when I flew to Boston. I stood at the Eleanor estate for the first time in 2 years, walked through the greenhouse where my grandmother grew orchids, touched the drafting table where she taught me to see. You were right, Grandma, I whispered. They had to see, but more importantly, I learned to see myself. And for the first time since this all began, I felt completely at peace. September 2026, 7 months after Victoria's wedding. I agreed to family therapy. 1 session. To see if it was even possible. Dr. Laura Chen. No relation to my grandmother, but the name felt like a sign. My parents. Victoria. Me. 90 minutes. For the first hour, my mother cried. Victoria was defensive. My father stayed silent. At minute 62, Dr. Chen asked me, Monica, what does change look like to you? I need them to see me when I talk. Not compare me to Victoria, not dismiss what I do. Just see me. Victoria's voice came out small. I don't even know your birthday. I know, that's the problem. We agreed to continue, twice a month, 6 months. I didn't promise reconciliation, just presence. After the first session, Victoria approached me in the parking lot. Can you send me the link to your company website? I want to understand what you do. I looked at her, searched for manipulation, saw only genuine curiosity. Okay, but not because Mom's making you, because you want to. She nodded. October 2026. I found out I was pregnant. 8 weeks. Due date, November 18th, 2026. Exactly 8 years after Grandma Eleanor died. I told Ethan first. He cried. Are you going to tell your family? Not yet. I want to get through the first trimester. And if they ask why you didn't tell them sooner, I'll tell them the truth. I wasn't ready to share joy until I trusted they'd be happy for me, not for themselves. I visited my grandmother's grave in November. Mount Auburn Cemetery in Cambridge. First time in 2 years. I placed white orchids on the stone. You're going to be a great grandmother, I whispered. I'll teach her to see what others miss. When I turned to leave, I saw my father, standing 20 feet away, holding flowers. We didn't speak. He placed his bouquet, nodded to me, then left. Later, I asked the groundskeeper, does anyone else visit this grave? Oh yes, an older gentleman, every Sunday, been coming for months. My father had been visiting his mother-in-law's grave weekly, quietly, without telling anyone. For the first time, I saw him trying. June 14th, 2027. 2 years after my wedding. The Eleanor Chen Memorial Workshop opened. 12 students in the first cohort, 8 women, 4 men, ages 18 to 25, from 9 different states. 150 people attended the opening, colleagues, clients, students, press. I stood in front of the Eleanor estate, now transformed into a design studio, cut the ribbon, and gave a speech. My grandmother told me, "You see what others miss." For years, I thought she meant I saw beauty in empty spaces. But she meant more. She meant I saw my own worth when others didn't. This workshop isn't just about teaching architecture. It's about teaching young people that their value doesn't come from who sees them. It comes from what they build. Some of you will design buildings. Some will design lives. All of you will design legacies. And no one can take that from you. My parents sat in the 3rd row. Not the 1st row. I'd reserved that for students' families. Victoria didn't come. Still in therapy. Not ready. But she sent flowers. Card said, "Proud of you. V." Ethan stood beside me, holding our 7-month-old daughter, Eleanor Grace Cooper, born November 18th, 2026, named after the woman who taught me to see. After the ceremony, my father approached. Can I hold her?" I hesitated, then handed him my daughter. He held Eleanor Grace and cried, "I'm sorry I never held you like this." That night, I wrote in my journal, a habit I learned from my grandmother. June 14th, 2027. 2 years since my wedding. 9 years since I met Ethan. 9 years since Grandma died. Today I opened the workshop she left me. 12 young people will learn to build, design, create. They'll know. Family doesn't define them. They define themselves. My parents came. 3rd row. They didn't demand, didn't expect. Just existed. That's progress. Victoria sent flowers. That's progress too. I don't know if we'll ever fully heal, but I know I don't need them to heal to be happy, and that's what matters. Grandma was right. I see what others miss. Now I teach others to do the same, and for the first time in my life, I'm not invisible. I'm just selective about who gets to see me. I closed the journal, looked out at the Boston skyline from my hotel window. Eleanor Grace slept in her crib, Ethan beside me. My phone buzzed, text from an unknown number. Hi Monica, this is Sarah, one of the scholarship students. I just want to say thank you. You gave me something my family never did. Permission to dream. I won't waste it. I smiled, typed back. You don't owe me anything. Just build something beautiful. And I meant it. Because at the end of the day, that's what this was all about. Not revenge, not vindication. Just building something beautiful from the ruins of being unseen and teaching others they could do the same. If this story resonated with you, remember, your worth isn't determined by who shows up for you. It's determined by what you build when they don't. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And never let anyone make you feel invisible when you're building an empire in plain sight.